Good day! In today's lesson, I will discuss about sensory language. But before that, let me leave this question. Have you ever imagined living in this world without using your senses? So I want you to keep this question in your mind as I discuss our lesson for today. So what is a sensory language? So when we say sensory language, it uses words that appeal to the senses of sight, smell, taste, touch, and hearing. So a lot of writers use sensory language for their readers to visualize what they wanted to convey to them. It also helps us to picture out or imagine what is in the scene of a story. It helps us to create a picture in our mind. So that's how important sensory language is. Now look at these two statements. For statement number 1, we have the pizza is delicious. For statement number 2, we have after taking a huge bite of the thin frosted pizza, I savored the taste of the sizzling pepperonis as the hot cheese melted in my mouth. So between the two statements, which do you think stimulated your senses more? Between them, which helped you to visualize more? Okay, so between the two statements, it is the statement number 2 because of the sensory language used by the writer which appeals to our senses. So we have different kinds of sensory language or imagery that we may use. So we have visual imagery, auditory imagery, sensory imagery, olfactory imagery, and gustatory imagery. So let's discuss this one by one. So first we have the visual imagery. So it appeals to the sense of sight. So example, the flashing blue lights from the police car lit up our dark house. Now, if you're going to remove the sensory words there, the statement would only be like this. The lights from the car lit our house. So that one doesn't stimulate our sense of sight. Next example, she is wearing a sexy long glittered gown at the party. Can you identify the sensory words used by the writer? Okay, so here we have the sexy, long glittered. So these adjectives stimulate our sense of sight. Next example, her long black hair still dripping after the shower left a cascade of water spots trickling down the back of her white t-shirt. So through this, we're able to create a picture in our mind and visualize the scene wherein her long hair wets her white t-shirt. So that's how powerful using sensory language is. Next kind of sensory language or imagery is the auditory imagery. So it appeals to the sense of hearing. So let's have examples. The telephone buzzed obsequiously in a low muted sound on his table. So in this example, it appeals to our sense of hearing because of the words buzz obsequiously and low muted sound. Through these words, we as readers were able to know what the telephone sounded in that particular scene. Next example, the walls shook and vibrated like the tail of a rattlesnake. So here, how the walls shook and vibrated was compared to a sound of the tail of a rattlesnake. Another example is this one. A faint buzz of voices came from behind the closed door. Next, we have another kind of imagery, which is sensory imagery. So it appeals to the sense of touch. Example, her sweater was so soft, reminding me of a velvety smooth bunny or a wispy cotton ball. So we're able to know that it is a sensory imagery because of the sensory words. Soft and smooth. So you will know if a thing is soft or smooth if you touch it. That's why this one appeals to the sense of touch. Another example. The mud felt steamy and cold between my toes. The sensory words used here are felt, steamy, and cold. Next example, we also have the sharp edge of the paper caught my finger and made it sting. Next kind of imagery is the olfactory imagery. It appeals to the sense of smell. Example. The sweet smell of freshly baked apple filled the air. So if we remove the sensory words, the statement would be like this. The smell of apple filled the air, which is quite plain, except if you added the sensory words. So through that, you will be able to create an image in your mind that, oh, this one smells like sweet, freshly baked apple. Next example. The candy has a minty scent that calms down and helps me focus. Here, the sensory word used is the word minty. Another example. The atlas sweaty gym clothes left a musty odor in the laundry room. Are you able to smell his sweaty gym clothes through this statement? Does it stimulate your sense of smell? So yes, of course, through the use of sensory language. Next is the gustatory imagery. So it appeals to the sense of taste. Example. My little sister likes the juicy tartness of orange. So here we're able to know the taste of the orange through the sensory words used. Next example. I hate when the sour taste of sweat drips into my mouth during practice. Here, the speaker was able to describe the taste of the sweat that drips into his mouth during their practice. Another examples are, Song Hye Kyo ordered a spicy flavored chicken yesterday. Next, one bite of the sour lemon caused my lips to pucker. So that's the end of my discussion for today. So I hope you've learned something from it. Thank you.